Okay, so look, most brands are still overthinking email. Something more design, more polish. However, what that just results in is more things aren't important, right? Meanwhile, some of the biggest brands, which I'm going to show you today, we've done an audit of some 8-figure plus brands. It's some of the biggest brands in e-commerce that are sending emails that they were written in under 2 minutes, and they're printing money. They're doing 8 and 9 figures and beyond. And today I'm going to show you those emails. I'm going to show you why plain text still work. And I'm going to show you why these 8-figure brands use them on purpose and why a lot of people just miss the point. But why should you listen to me? So before we get into it, quick context. I run retention for a dozen multiple e-commerce brands, email and SMS, and that's it. And I'm going to refresh this Klaviyo account so that you can see in just under 8 days, we've able to top they attributed revenue from last year. So January last year, we're up 27%, which is huge. Just under 100,000. We're at $90,000 in just over a week, a week and 1 day to start January, which is an incredible start. Like I said, I run head of retention here at Hayes Media. We've been scaling e-commerce brands with email and SMS marketing for the past 5+ years. We scale 7, 8, 9 figures and beyond. You can see here some of the brands that we've worked with, like Lokai, Uclove, Pop of Leather, Oslin, MindLab Pro. Some of these brands you might have heard of, some not, but otherwise they're amazing brands. Couldn't recommend them enough. And we have some testimonials as well as some case studies about the actual results that we've been able to drive. A good example here is Remy. We've been working with them pretty much since the agency began 5+ years ago, and they're still with us today. So at the moment, if you want to go check out the website, please do. Also, if you want, click this button here, book a time to chat, because we're actually doing retention audits at the moment, which basically what it does is it highlights the biggest opportunities that you have for your store, where you may be like basically missing revenue or having money, on the table that you're not taking advantage of. And it's completely free. There's no obligation. Okay. We have that call. We offer you a lot of value, as much as that value as we can. And then it's up to you at the end of that if you want to implement it yourself or work with us. So if you're thinking, hey, start of the year, it's 2026, we would love a retention audit. It's something that we maybe been thinking about for a little while. Then book a time to chat today. And I'll see you on that call. Okay, so what is it that 8-figure brands know about plain text emails that a lot of us don't? So again, like I said, I spent past week just looking at some of my favorite brands. You got Graza here, and just seeing what emails are they sending out and what specifically plain text emails are they sending out? Because I don't see a lot of brands doing this, but when I catch these bigger brands, right, doing it, I'm really curious, and I want to know what it is that they're doing. So here's a mistake people make. Okay, so very quickly, I've talked about this on the channel a lot, and I think most people nowadays think that plain text emails work purely because they're simple, or because they're authentic, or because they feel personal. However, what I've discovered and what I believe is that's not the real reason. Okay, I think plain text is more simple than that because it does one job and only one job really well. Okay, not only does it get the email opened, right? People read plain text emails. Really, they read them, and because of that, they click the emails, right? No distractions, no visual noise, and no competing call to actions. It's just simple words, okay? So why do 8-figure brands, which I'll get into some examples in a moment, but just to start with the basics, the format, right? Why do 8-figure brands use plain text emails? So let's break this down very simply so that we're on the same page and we can understand it better. So first of all, it's of the pattern interrupt. So nowadays, and it has done for a while, inboxes look the same. You can probably relate to this as you check your inbox right now. I guarantee 80% of your inbox, you'll see big images, bold headers, perfect, immaculate layouts. Okay. However, plain text email looks like a human wrote it. So people stop scrolling. That's it. Okay. And then it leads on to this other second very important point is where does that email land in the inbox? Okay, so image heavy HTML, doesn't matter if it's built in Klaviyo, if you've uploaded it from Figma, doesn't matter. Image heavy emails train Gmail and Outlook to treat you like a promotion. Okay, that's just how it is, because plain text emails, they look like a conversation, not a marketing campaign. And that alone changes where you land in the inbox. People don't click that much on their promotions tab. Some people do, don't get me wrong, but the percentage is a lot lower than those who check their primary tab. Number 3 is this thing called Parasocial intimacy, which essentially is talking about trust. Okay. Trust, especially in today's age with AI and all these things that are coming about, trust today scales better than design. It's just plain facts. High-end design can actually create a distance between you and the consumer. It reminds people they are being marketed to, they are being sold to, whereas plain text removes that wall, at least for the beginning. Still, you can make the email sound very salesy. We'll get onto that in a moment of like some good examples of plain text. But just to start with, it removes that wall. It feels closer, more direct, and more believable. Okay, then that matters when you scale. One job per email. Okay, so the last 2 points. Number 4 is the one job focus. So as I just mentioned with design, you've got headers, you've got footers, you've got social icons, you've got multiple CTAs, and they are all distractions when it comes to your audience. Plain text actually forces focus and discipline because it has one idea with one angle and one action. And that's how these grown 8-figure, 9-figure brands think. Okay. And last point is just around mobile perfect by default. So again, we all know about optimizing your designs for mobile. Well, plain text does that automatically pretty much. There's a little bit of formatting that needs to be done around sizing and spacing, line spacing, but otherwise it's pretty much mobile friendly on the get-go. All right, so let's get on to some examples because I know this is something that you guys want to understand and see. So the example one is Graza. Okay, and you've probably seen this without even realizing, We've got Graza, I'm going to be showing Sticker Mule and also CD Baby. They don't use plain text because they can't design. They use it because it works, all right? And they've already earned the trust. So now they protect the attention. So that's the difference between small brands and big ones. All right, so here's some examples from Graza. Hey, we'll get right to it. You only got one day today to place your orders to guarantee delivery ahead of the holidays. Yay, presents. This is your formal reminder to fill up your cart with X for all your friends and fam and some ugly but cute holiday, but I love the names, to keep them warm. Happy holidays, Graza. So again, this is still a sales email, don't get me wrong. And it doesn't mean that you can't sell in a plain text email. I'm not saying that. The point is already this feels more personal and it's a lot easier to read. Like you could skim this and get the idea of what the email is trying to tell you. It's saying I have a one day to fill up with these. Simple. Another one is, buddy, did you miss the shipping cutoff? Don't sweat it. That's why we're on good old Amazon, where you can get your olive oil super quick and perhaps even ship free with Prime. Grab some sizzle, drizzle, and frizzle to stuff those stockings. Everybody loves olive oil. I mean, I love olive oil, so you've got my attention. Then and again, it's super curious. Like, the names are actually really cool. Like, what is sizzle? What is drizzle? And what is frizzle? I'm guessing drizzle is what you put on something, frizzle is what you fry, and sizzle is what you sizzle. I don't know, but I love this. It's really cool. And again, it's touching on something that maybe people have been thinking about. Like, oh yeah, I meant to get that present from that brand and I forgot, and then you get this email. And it's a personal one. Another one, hey there, maybe you heard, but we made wine. It's called Nice Wine because, well, it's pretty nice. Looks nice, tastes nice, and heck, it goes nice with just about everything. Which brings us to today's point. Today's the last day to order Nice Wine and also the dinner party pack to definitely get it by 2025. Sorry, 2512. It's perfect festive fruity wine or your holiday hang, so grab some gift to gift your pals or for sipping on your own. Again, it's super, and the thing that I love about this is each personal plain text email has the same vibe to it. It has the same brand voice and tone, which goes really well for the Graza branding. Hey there, Grazoid. As usual, October was kind of a whirlwind. We were so busy with our early harvest in Spain. That's cool. I'm like, wow, okay. Handpicking those green little guys off the tree to make drizzle that we totally forgot. I mean, I've actually gone olive picking, and hand picking it is almost impossible. So, I mean, maybe they did. But you have to actually it looks a bit like a thing that you rake leaves with, or they have these big, they look like leaf blowers, but they suck instead of blowing, and you suck out all the olives and they go into a big bag. But anyway, there's your little olive facts of the day. I did that in Greece, so that's why I know. Anyway, if you also forgot to do your pumpkin thing, you can always last minute carve a cano lantern with us. Okay, cool. All you need, empty refill cans, obviously no time. Now, the only thing I would say here is there's a lot of different things going on. That I like if you also forgot, but what I would have done is kept this main thing around drizzle and maybe the fizzle and the dizzle and the whizzle and the sizzle. All right, those things. And then put the if you also forgot in the PS statement. Okay, because it's okay to mention other things, but if you need to have the center of attention and the thing you want them to click on and focus on. And then in the PS statement is for those who want a bit more, right? That's the only feedback I would give here. So let's look at Sticker Mule, which actually has been really heavy on the old plain texts, which is, again, a good thing to see. I think most brands now are realizing that you don't need to send pretty designs if plain text works better, right? I can put a tweet on the screen right now that I found hilarious. I resonate with this so much. But, if plain text works and it's better, then you just have to accept these things. Okay, so Sticker Mule, what I love about these guys is they're going with the dad jokes. I'm a sucker for dad jokes. I see them in SMS do really well as well. If your brand makes sense to do this and you got a male audience, this is great. So, hi, I don't know what this bit is. I think it's just the person's name. They wrote it like this. But anyway, fact, magnets are attractive. 50 custom magnets for $29. What else do you need? Hi, a circle has no beginning or end, but this deal ends Friday. Okay. Every time, honestly, I've read these before, but they crap me up so much. The last one, the circle labels deal ends. Okay, so that one's not as funny. But only thing better than a stick is a sheet of stickers. Very true, very true. Again, so simple, so simple. But why else do you need to complicate it? Really? Okay, so that's Sticker Mule. Very simple dad jokes. Jokes in general do great. If you can with your brand, please do. All right, let's move on to CD Baby. This is when you buy something from them. So thank you for your order with CD Baby. Your CD has been gently taken from our CD Baby shelves with sterilized, contamination-free gloves and placed onto a satin pillow. A team of 50 employees inspected your CD and polished it to make sure it was in the best possible condition before sending. Our packaging specialist from Japan lit a candle and a hush fell over the crowd as he put your CD into the finest gold-lined box that money can buy. We all had a wonderful celebration afterwards, and the whole party marched down the street to the post office where the entire town of Portland waved bon voyage to your package on its way to you in our private CD Baby jet on this day, Friday, June the 6th. Hope you had a wonderful time shopping in CD Baby. We sure did. Your picture is on our wall as Customer of the Year. We're all exhausted, but can't wait for you to come back. This is genius. Really, I love it. I love these funny, a bit sarcastic, but in good taste, plain text post-purchase emails. You could do this for a lot of brands, really. I know a lot of brand owners will say don't do it, but at the end of the day, like, these 8.99 figures are doing it. And if it's written well, it works. The thing I love and would add on here is a little image, which you can actually add images into plain text emails without it harming deliverability. And I could talk about that in another video, but basically you can get it'd be cool if you could get like an AI image of the customer, or instead you have the image of the person's name. That would be it. So you'd have like the certificate on the wall with the customer's name. But anyway, either way, this is really cool. I love these post-purchase emails. Okay, so the real takeaway that I want everyone to take from this is that plain text isn't a hack, it's not a shortcut, and it's definitely not lazy, as you can tell from the examples I gave you. It's really a strategic choice nowadays. And if your email needs design to work, the copy isn't doing its job. Okay, the brands making real money, they know copy and messaging carries revenue. Design just supports it. It's not the other way around. Now, if you're running email and feel like things have stalled, it's usually not volume, it's not frequency, it's clarity. Okay, if you want us to look at where your email revenue is leaking, like I mentioned before, we're doing complimentary retention audits for brands we're a good fit for. Okay, and the link is below to book that call. If not, steal this idea and the examples I've given you. Don't copy them directly, but you can have a look at the frameworks and try out for yourself. Test the plain text emails and pay attention to what actually moves those numbers. See you on the next one. Bye for now.